Hola bafethu, it is your big homie Palo. Arbuinga business elispane bafethu. Today we're going to talk about data management. We're still talking about IT job types. This is part 2 of 5 and we're going to be talking about data management. So what is data management? Before we get into what data management is, let's first define what data is. So data is the building blocks of information. So with whatever information that you want to send, receive, or utilize in any way, shape, or form, those blocks of information are referred to as data. All right, and when these blocks are put together, you can get different types of information. So this could be, or rather, they would come in different forms. It could be an audio file. It could be an XML file. It could be this video that you're watching. It could be pictures that you have on your phone. So anything, so anything that is in the form of information has data behind it. So for you to see or read or hear information, there's data behind it, right? So what is data management? Data management is now the acquisition, the monitoring, the displaying, moving around of data. All right, so anything that has to do with data. So it could be moving around, it could be sending, it could be receiving, it could be manipulating. So that's what data management is. So it could be that what I just mentioned, or anything in between, and there's also much more than that. So we are going to get into that a bit later, but it's I think what's crucial is for you to understand what data management is, and for you to understand what data management is, you need to know what data is. And data is just about that, building blocks of information. What is the importance of data management? Everything that we have on our phones, everything that we have on our tablets, laptops, consists of data. So I'm speaking in a software point of view. So your screen, so anything that has to, any and everything that has to do with information, software, videos, files, anything, even this video that you're watching, there's some data behind it, and something called metadata, which is data that describes data. There's a whole bunch of blocks behind the end product, which is information, and those are data. It's always data. Even if you're listening to a nice song that you put on repeat, that is data. A phone, a picture that you take with your phone, that is also data. All right, so the importance of data management is that data needs to be moved around. It needs to be displayed a certain way. So for example, if you need information, like, have you seen, if you're watching a presentation and then you get some graphs saying that, okay, in this area of the country, we have this many people who are female, this many people who are male. All that information that you see in graph form goes back to data, right? You need data in order for you to get information that you see. All right, so there's different levels of this data thing, and there are different roles for people to work on or with data. All right, and data is very important in today's world. We live in a world that is digital for the most part, and everything that is digital works with data. Like, there's no such thing as information that is digital without data behind it. All right, so that's the importance of data management. People who work in the data management field are the people who deal with how data is worked on or moved around, displayed, manipulated, and all of that. We're going to get into the different job types of what data management roles consist of. So within the data management space, the first one that we're going to talk about is data analyst. Right, and the second part would then be a data scientist or data engineer. And then we have people in the business intelligence space. Then we have a database administrator. So what educational paths are there for you to get into if you want to get into data management? So here's a list of courses and certificates that you can do in order for you to get into data management. Guys, so just like any other job, you need certain skills and qualities for you to excel in that particular field. So obviously you can hone your skills, you can hone your qualities, but these are the primary skills and qualities that you need. So firstly, you need problem solving skills. You need to be able to look at a problem and find ways to resolve an issue, right? Because in data management, sometimes you might get someone who says, okay, guys, we need this data to move in a much more efficient way. And you then need to come in, step in as a maybe database administrator or data analyst sometimes, step in and then look at what is needed for this data to move much quicker. All right. So obviously that would then be you stepping in with your problem solving skills. All right. You also need good communication skills, because most projects have different stakeholders, and so with you being a part of the data management team, or with you being a person who works with data, you then need to communicate with everyone. And then skill number 3 would be paying attention to detail, where a small mistake, a small mistake in data management can get you arrested. All right. So for example, someone could say, hey, can you put a discount of 5% on these products? And then by mistake, you then put in a 9 behind the 5. So now obviously it's a 59% discount. And then customers are now buying and doing their thing, only to find that, 50,000 people have made a purchase and sales went up to 5 million. So you could get arrested because you can't pay that money back. There's different, you could also get into trouble where, you've sent people's data out by mistake. There's a POPI Act that where if you infringe on any of the POPI Act rules, you could land in prison, because private information shouldn't be sent out. So you need to, paying attention to detail in the data management space is crucial. It's crucial to a point where I would actually put it at number 1 of all these things that we've discussed, whether it's problem solving skills and communication. Paying attention to detail is number 1. You need to be able to pay attention to detail so that you don't get into trouble, and so that information that you send out and use is accurate. So what about the job market in data management? AI, social media, retail, finance and banking, travel and tourism, all these, because as we've mentioned before, that everything that is information related is also data related. All right. So all these industries work with data, and the market is very, very huge, and there are a lot of jobs out there. I'm pretty sure if you just jump into Indeed or LinkedIn right now, there's quite a lot of jobs and companies looking for people to work with. And so the job market is very huge, and there's a lot of people who are already in the industry, and they can vouch for that the data management space is broad, and it's something that you can jump into. You can grow there's no ceiling to how much you can grow within the data management space. All right, so it's in terms of just the job market, it's here in South Africa, it's super fruitful, and anyone can get into it, because it's not a very difficult. It is difficult in some parts. Some data jobs are difficult, but not everything is like rough where it's like you have to work for 9 years. Like, for example, if you want to be a doctor, it's going to take you a while. It's going to take you years to catch on as to what is needed, and for you to actually get into the workforce, it's going to take years. But in data management, I think in 2 years, depending on which one you've chosen, it can be quick. You can find yourself already comfortable in the whole data management space, moving along and moving up the ladder, moving sideways. You can literally move sideways, because some jobs require people to be multi-skilled or multi-talented, where you work on the database administration side of things while you're also working on the reporting side of things. Well, most people actually in data management are multi-skilled and multi-talented. And so for all these industries that I've mentioned, so obviously your finance, your banking, your retail and whatnot, there are two ways to work for a company. And for the most part, a lot of companies will have an in-house developer or an analyst, where they pay the person directly. And then in some companies, they prefer to outsource people, where they'll get a consulting company to, give them resources to work with, where they then pay them. So whether a company needs to outsource or whether it needs an in-house developer or an analyst, it is a lucrative field where it's not that difficult to get into, as long as you put. So here's some advice for people who want to get into data management. I think the most important thing is knowing that you're actually interested in working with data, and you actually like it. Test yourself out with a few courses online and see just look at how interested you are in the field, and then based on that, then you can start actually doing courses for real and trying to get your qualifications. Because here's the thing: if you don't like it, you're gonna hate your job, and in data you can't be making mistakes, you can't be playing around, and because like I said earlier on, you can get arrested. Like I said earlier on, you could get arrested, you could lose your entire, pension or whatever. All because why? You made a simple mistake of not paying attention to detail, and now you're running into it. And obviously this goes hand in hand, where you paying attention to detail also has to come with you being actually interested in that information. Alright, so be interested in the work, love it, embrace it, keep pushing, learn more. That's also important. Learn more. Right now you can jump onto ChatGPT. Right? ChatGPT will literally put code for you for anything that you need the code for. Right? So right now clearly things are moving forward. People are moving forward in the data management field. So obviously AI and ChatGPT, that is machine learning and artificial intelligence, and that has, I wouldn't say little to do, but that has less to do with your normal data management jobs like your analyst, your business intelligence, your administrator, and so on. It's a bit different, even though it's the same field. It's a little bit different, where it requires a little bit more understanding of data and statistics and machine learning and all of that. Alright, so learning is important. You need to improve. You need to be willing. There needs to be that willingness to learn and improve yourself as a person. Progress, that's all. I mean, guys, who would have thought? 4 years ago, who would have thought that ChatGPT would be so impactful, where people are actually not needed in some jobs? Do you know that right now some companies are literally downsizing because of ChatGPT? They're not doing it directly, but they're downsizing because of things like ChatGPT and AI, where it's like, actually, we might not need this person. Right? I'm not saying it's a good thing and everyone should go into data, but I'm saying that we need to progress as people. We need to evolve with the times. And as someone who wants to get into data management, you also need to have that willingness to learn and evolve. And for that to happen, you need to be genuinely interested in data and anything that is related to data. Alright. So guys, obviously now this is just the first conversation that we have. This is a field that I'm actually in, data management. I work as an ETL developer / data analyst. And so what happens is I do want to talk about the exact things that are required, what goes on in the data space, but it would be better to come from someone else where it's in the form of a conversation instead of it being me telling you what goes on, because as people we have different mindsets, and my mindset might not be compatible with yours, and that might put you off, which is something that you don't want, or it might actually make you too excited when you get into data management and then boom, you don't like it. So we're going to have a conversation around that and break down everything down to its most granular form. Alright, so guys, with that being said, knowledge is a powerful weapon. Arm yourself. Thanks for watching.